Ladies and gentlemen, for the very first time, I got a projector. So I upped my production value and I hope the projector's not too loud. Anyways, enjoy the video. Okay, so since I got a projector, we will now be projecting all kinds of stuff. Today will be this styling episode of the Secret History characters. I read the Secret History like a month ago and I cannot let go of it. Not mentally, not physically, in no way, shape or form. Like, I think about it all the time. Every book I try to start reading, I just can't, because this one exists. What the fuck? I started reading Wuthering Heights, but I was like, nah, this is boring. I want to read the Secret History again. What the fuck? What's going on? I am nothing in my soul if not obsessive. Anyways, if you haven't read this book, read it. It's about a group of classics students and they kill their friend. And that's what it's about. And the murder is not a spoiler because it happens in the prologue. Anyways, this is how I imagine them to dress. They very much have like their own little personalities, their own little styles, and then they're all seen through the rose-colored glasses of our faithful narrator, Richard. Okay, so Richard is new. He is actually from California. He's not very wealthy. He just wants to fit in. He thinks it's all so cool, like the whole classics thing. It's so freaking cute and dark academia, and he's longing for the picturesque at all costs. That's his fatal flaw, what he says in the first chapter. This first sentence of the first chapter is the key to the whole narrative, and oh my god, it's so freaking good. Anyways, yeah, dark academia. That's his aesthetic, that's his vibe, that's how he tells the story. Okay, so when Richard first arrives at the college from California, I would imagine him to look something like this. Like, nothing special, like he just kind of looks average, he dresses average, he just kind of blends into the crowd of like regular students. Then he sees the classics crew and he wants to be a part of them. And then he joins the classics department, he switches his major to Greek, I think. Now we are in the classics class. He wants to be a part of that group. He wants to be one of them. He thinks they're so cool. He wants to be so cool as well. So he has this whole dark academia persona going on. Like I said, he is not very wealthy, so he goes to like a lot of thrift stores to get like suits and shirts and stuff like that. And I would imagine his style to be something like this. Dark colors, like earthy tones, browns, dark reds, dark greens, warm colors, but still like existentialist, you know. And then like heavy fabric, sort of tweed, corduroy, that kind of vibe. By the way, don't mind Carl. He's just eye candy. He's not judging anyone. He's just there. Okay, now he's kind of becoming part of the group a little bit. And he kind of starts to chill. Like his style gets a little more casual, still very much aestheticized. Still sort of very dark academia, but I can see him like dropping the blazer sometimes. I think this is where he reaches his peak of aesthetic academia. He is gifted some of the suits of one of his classmates, Francis. We'll get to him in a bit. Francis is kind of very wealthy, so this kind of introduces sort of more of a high-end feel into his wardrobe. We have James Potter as inspiration. He's very much giving Marauders. I think if Richard was Gen Z, he would definitely be on Marauders TikTok. Then this is him in one particular scene where he snorts the thing that is not Pepsi in a Burger King parking lot with Judy. So next up, we have my personal favorite, probably everybody's personal favorite, Henry, the leader of the group. He is intellectually superior. He has an air of superiority. He seems like the perfect person. He wanted to rent a house once and the realtor did not want to give it to him because he was so perfect, and he thought there must be a catch. He's very wealthy. Like, he is the richest of them all. He is very much into the classics. He lives in his own world. He lives in the classical world. He lives in ancient Greece. He's meticulous, he's detail-oriented, he's very rational. So I'm sensing that he would dress kind of put together in like a very detail-oriented way. I think he would know what works for him, both on a practical level, but also on an aesthetic level, because he is also like very much into like beauty. All of them are. And lastly, he is a fan of Gucci, which he mentions in one scene, part of the book, I don't know. So I think this would kind of be him at his most formal, which is all the time, like a three-piece suit, dark, classical, very put together, very much his vibe, like dark colors, like mostly black, but I don't think he'd wear dark green. The one in the middle is actually dark green, but I don't think he would wear dark green. Maybe like dark gray, dark blue if push comes to shove. I think that's him. Like wide leg trousers, because like he is a big boy. Like he is tall, he is muscular. Like wide suits are the way to go for that body type, and he knows it. He knows it. He knows what he's doing, and we're happy. We're very happy about it. So I wanted to put an emphasis on how like seasonally appropriate he dresses. I feel like he would always look put together and like dressed. He would wear coats that are appropriate for the season. This picture of Johnny Depp just reminds me of him. He also wears glasses, and that's kind of the vibe I'm getting. Also this, very much Henry vibes. It always talks about how he like clenches his jaw and stuff. Yeah, that's yeah, that's him. Okay. Next up, as like a fun little accessory, I think he would actually wear a lot of velvet because he's very calm, he's collected, he is grounded, he is a Virgo king. I think he's a Virgo sun, a Scorpio moon, and that kind of velvet is Virgo sun, Scorpio moon energy 100%. And I think the velvet would be like dark reds, dark blues, blacks, stuff like that. And I think this particular coat, like the velvet coat with the fur collar, I don't know, like it just speaks to me as like a thing that Henry would wear. So, except I think this is what he would wear in a more casual setting. Wide leg trousers, high-waisted wide leg trousers, and then a turtleneck, which kind of like, I think high-waisted wide leg trousers are such a nice shape for men, especially if they're like not super slim. And like he isn't, like he's very muscular, he's very tall. Kind of creates a very nice sort of sturdy, stable, rectangular shape. And this guy kind of looks like Chris Evans, but also kind of looks like a thinker, and Henry is a thinker for sure. So that is the vibe. That is the casual Henry vibe. I think Henry would have a tasteful use of pattern. I think he has a sense for it. He has a sense for beauty and for fashion, and he would throw a pattern in there somewhere. And like, these are all from the Harry Styles Gucci ads, and he likes Gucci, so had to put in some Gucci. Next up, we have Bunny, who is the victim of the murder. Sorry, Bunny. He is an all-American boy. He is living the WASP lifestyle. Very much J. Crew, very much Polo Ralph Lauren. I put cottagecore because like he is part of the Classics gang, but he is also very much giving frat boy. Like he is a frat boy in his heart, in his soul. Like the very being of him is frat boy. So in like the first chapter, Richard mentions Bunny wearing a tweed jacket that's kind of beat up that he never takes off. That's how I imagine it. Light brown, tweed, that kind of vibe. But then the jacket is never mentioned. I don't know what happened to it. Did he take it off? I don't know. But as like the narrative progresses, there's kind of a focus on how Bunny spends a lot of money on clothing. He dresses very smart, very stylish, very like college boy, trust fund baby, that kind of vibe, like paid with daddy's credit card. That's the vibe. And he makes fun of people who don't dress smart and stylish. But anyways, we're not going to talk about that. So this is the vibe that I was getting, very much college style. So, and then Bunny, I guess, is a very family-oriented person, or maybe it's just because his family is in the book a lot, kind of. This is how I would imagine him to dress with his family, which is also like the classic, like WASP type of American rich family. This is how I would imagine him with his dad. Like, that's kind of pretty much exactly how I imagine them. Then that would be how I would imagine him with his girlfriend. Don't look at my shadow, look at my finger. Yeah, now you can look at my shadow. I'm pointing with my shadow. Anyways, I got kind of carried away with this bit. I was like very much into the story. In his like last moments, kind of, the time before his death, Richard sort of focuses on how he doesn't look very put together. He kind of has a messy frat boy type of look. So I wanted to portray this vibe. Bunny is also the only person who really, like, except for Richard kind of, is the only person who has friends outside of the Classics gang. That's kind of how I imagine him and the other frat boys. Okay, moving on to Francis. Francis is into fashion. Richard's first impression of Francis was like a black bird because he wears black clothing and a black coat, and he's very tall and walks fast apparently. He is kind of giving Eddie Slimmer model. He is tall and skinny. That's just kind of the Saint Laurent Celine right now vibe. He's not a fan of Gucci. So him and Henry had that discussion, and he's not a fan of Gucci while Henry is a fan of Gucci. This is kind of how I would imagine his general vibe. Very much blacks, like skinny, like slim fit suits, because he is very skinny. Eddie Slimmer would love him. And so mostly black, a little bit of white. You know the vibes. And then coats can't be missing because that's how Richard first sees him. This person is kind of how I would imagine Francis to look if this guy was ginger. And I think Francis would not stick to like the normal like suit and shirt combo. I think he would mix it up and put in some satin, like silky type of shirt, blouses, thingies, tops. It's kind of giving rock star a little bit. I think he would spice it up. Like he wouldn't just wear a regular suit and shirt and call it a day. He has taste and he shows it. I also don't think he would just wear a regular tie. I don't think he's much of a tie guy. I think if anything he would wear like a skinny tie, like Orion Black over there. I'm sorry, I don't know the actual names of the people, but this is how I would imagine him wearing his tie. Then I can also see these like bows or bow ties. I can see him wearing a bow tie. I think that's like his go-to is a bow tie, but then if he is being a little bit fashion forward, I mean it was the 80s, it's a bow or a skinny tie or that kind of bow. Yeah. And then we cannot forget the shoes. I put these Saint Laurent ankle boots and also pointy shoes. Like Francis is a pointy person. Like everything about him is pointy. You know how sometimes you can categorize people and things into like pointy or round, and he is at the pointiest. Very much the pointiest person. Also the buckles, it's giving Francis. I mean these ones have like a square toe, but they're still pointy. And also like Chelsea boots, Oxford's brogues, that kind of vibe. 100% he's a Chelsea boot guy, and I can see him wearing a little bit of a heel as well. And now we are moving on to the twins. First twin, Charles. Unlike most of the others, Charles is not, like both of the twins actually, they are said to dress alike, but unlike the others, they're not dark academia, they're more like light academia. Richard's first impression of him is definitely like very light, like he's blonde, he's pale, he wears whites and like beiges and neutrals, and like very much bright and airy, light academia, and he dresses just like his sister. So this is what I would imagine a regular sort of everyday Charles look to be like. Just like whites, light beige, neutrals, that kind of vibe, like relaxed fits, linens. Moving on to the next page, linen suits. Yeah, like English garden, butterfly, scientist, walking in the garden, that kind of vibe, you know? Hugh Grant. Yeah. And then this is how I would imagine him in winter. With this, I took a deep dive into men's light academia Pinterest boards. Winter, fall, that's Charles's aesthetic. Light grey, light brown, light beige, white, but like off-white. Yeah. At one point in the book, it's mentioned that Charles and Camilla were wearing tennis outfits, so I think tennis is a big part of their style just because it was mentioned. Anyways, moving on to Camilla. Bright and girly instead of bright and airy. Still airy, but also Richard emphasizes how she, despite only hanging out with guys, is still very girly, still dresses very girly, like academia, and just like her brother, which Richard emphasizes a lot, that she is just like her brother. Also tennis influences. We got Princess Diana over there in the corner, which is kind of ironic because they're called Charles and Camilla. Yikes. But I think Princess Diana, especially because she was like the 80s girly, so I think she would be a inspiration. Then this would be a regular everyday look for Camilla, I think, especially this one in the middle, just like light pants, a light blouse, very linen, cotton, flowy. And then also the hairstyle, this is kind of how I imagine it, but in blonde. She's also blonde. And then because she is still very girly, I can see her wearing dresses like that. Maybe not like this one and not like this one because they are very big and Simone Rocha, but you get the vibe, like it's exaggerated just to get the point across. But this one, for example, the one on the desk, that one, I can absolutely 100% see her wearing. Like that could be Camilla. even has a hairstyle, like 100% could be Camilla. There's a cat in the picture, there's a cat in the story, and you cannot see these, which is sad. But they're all just like Miu Miu dresses that I can see Camilla wearing. And then for a more wintry, colder fall vibe, I think knit sweaters. Still seemingly very lightweight, light sweaters, light colors, bright colors. I don't know why, but I'm getting the vibe that she would wear like embroidered crochet knits. It doesn't have to be like florals, like most of the pictures I could find were like florals, but like this one has cherries sort of applied to the knit, and that one has like bugs, and I think it would be more like random stuff like that, like just like random things embroidered and like crocheted onto clothing, like applied and stuff like that. So yeah, and then this would be her shoes. I don't know why, but I can see her wearing these shoes, and yeah, that's it. And then I rambled on for a little bit about this and that and so, but the video was basically finished, and then my camera shut itself off. So this is me finishing the video right now. I hope you had fun. I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know if I should style anyone next. Yeah. Alright, ciao!